So Ayurveda is not a young science that is working its way up painstakingly from one experiment to another experiment. And unfortunately, the results of one so-called conclusive study sometimes upsets the conclusions of a previous study. We who are lovers of Ayurveda and believe in it and follow it and teach it to the rest of humanity know that Ayurveda is a complete science. It is a mature science. And its profound principles, conclusions, insights, and directives to humanity are all preserved for posterity in special texts or source scriptures, and these are called Shastra or Shastram. Shastra is the name of not every book written on Ayurveda by any random author, but a very special class of texts have been given the status of Shastra, such as Charak Samhita, Sushrut Samhita, Ashtanga Hridayam, Ashtanga Samgraha, Bhava Prakasha, or Madhav Nidanam. So there are some very special texts, and hundreds of them come in this category for the science of Ayurveda. And special 6 texts get special mention, and they are known as Brihatrayi and Lagutrayi because these are the big 3 and the smaller 3. And these 6 texts, if we study them, we Ayurvedic teachers and students and practitioners, then we get complete knowledge. No gaps are left in our understanding of the Ayurvedic epistemology. Shasanat Trayate iti Shastram. So what is this Shastra that sets it apart from any other book or even say a bestseller? Because Shastra will be relevant today and definitely popular today, but it will be even relevant thousands of years later, as relevant as it was thousands of years earlier, because it deals with eternal principles, not the insights of one person or a group of people. It deals with all living beings, not just the human beings, but all living creatures come under its purview. It speaks of a truth which does not belong to one person or another person, which can then be questioned, but it is the kind of truth which is known as Satyam, which is the truth of our entire existence. Satyena dharayante prithvi, Satyena tapate ravihi, Satyena vayavo vanti, Sarvam satye pratishthitham. We are now talking in Ayurveda about the kind of truth or Satyam which is responsible for the earth being held in its orbit, for the sun giving light to all of us in this Milky Way, for the causes due to which, mysterious causes, the wind blows externally and through our entire being as prana. This truth that upholds all of us, that truth is mentioned in a Shastra. And therefore, Shasanat Trayati iti Shastram, even one verse of the Shastra, when understood at the feet of a master who can explain the subtle meaning, the hidden meaning, the codified meaning, and show the connection of that verse to all the other thousands of verses in the Shastra, then the sun, the moon, the earth, everything becomes illumined within us, and we experience first and foremost a deep ability to feel better. So therefore, it gives us, number one, it gives us protection. But the protection comes through commandment and enlightenment. In the initial stages, the Shastra will command us, do this, don't do that. And as we continue to study further, that same commandment will become a knowledge, so it enlightens us. And in the end and in the beginning, from that first moment when we connect with the Shastra to the last, we become protected. That is what the word Shastra means. Sha can be etymologically split up into commandment and enlightenment, and Tra is the root word for protection. So therefore, Sarvasya Lochanam Jnanam, the Shastra is the eye for all beings. With these physical eyes or these 5 senses, we are limited in gaining knowledge. But through the Shastra, a whole new domain opens up, and we begin to understand the cosmos and our existence in it, and our role in it, and how we can be successful here through only one source, which is the Shastra. And that is why in Ayurveda, 3 preliminary sources of knowledge have been mentioned. One is Pratyaksha Praman, through which we have direct evidence through our 5 senses. Then Anumana Praman, or inferential knowledge, which is kind of based on the previous one. And the third one is Shastra Praman, or Aptavakya, or Shabdaha. This is a special Praman that comes only from study of the scripture. So if we have not studied the Shastra, but only taken a few classes, some random classes, where some great knowledge has been given, but not directly from the Shastra, you can say that the third source of valid evidence has not even been tapped. And when these 3 preliminary sources come together, perception, inference, and scripture, can then we do the final knowledge gaining methodology. We can utilize it, which is called Yukti Praman, which makes us practitioners, doctors, and beneficiaries of Ayurveda. So therefore, in my class, in the Ayurveda ancestral teaching, all my teaching will be based upon the Shastra. All my guidance to you will be traced back to the Shastra. I do not have to create anything new. I do not have to give you any sensational new knowledge. I can simply settle down, open this text. For example, I have the great Charak Samhita in my hand, and just simply read you the text, a single verse, such as Buddhi Vidya Vahashila Dhairya Smriti Samadhibihi Vriddhopasevino Vriddhaha Swabhavagnya Gatavyathaha Sumukha Sarvabhutanam Prashantaha Shamsitvrataha Sevyaha Sanmargavaktaraha Punya Shravana Darshanam. You might be noticing that even as I am reading, I am also recollecting it in my mind. The reason for that is that I have sat and learned this exact shloka at the feet of my own teacher. And we have recited it not once but hundreds of times. And as I say each and every word, it sparks something within me, a knowingness, a memory, and a whole new paradigm of how to be. This shloka is teaching you what kind of suitable company you should have for health. Have you ever thought about it? Currently, we are making friends left, right, and center thanks to social media. But Charaka Samhita, the great text of Ayurvedic medicine, is telling us, be careful what company you keep, because that company should be one which is auspicious and leads you back to the Shastra. So ultimately, it is asking you to keep company with the teacher, with the guru, with that great mentor who knows the text, lives by it, and teaches you. I hope you will enjoy my class, and I hope you will enjoy these texts and benefit from them and pass them on in your own communities for great auspicious karmic benefit to all.